Okay, so we are starting our meeting now, and we'll just encourage people to put their names on so that we will have the names for recording. So my name is Helena Bonison, the president of the association. Please go ahead and introduce yourself so that it's going to be in the record.
So I am Marilyn McGreer, M-C capital G-R-E-E-R. And I am a friend of the African Friendship Club.
Thank you, ma'am. Your phone is like the sound of your phone is not very clear from my end. I don't know if that's the same thing for all of you.
It's the same thing here. It's not very clear.
Oh, so what do I need to increase my volume?
No, we can't hear you very well. I can't hear you very well anyway.
Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, it's
Is that loud? Is that better? Is that louder?
It's blurring. It's not that it's not loud. It's loud.
It's a little bit blurry.
See if your microphone is close to your mouth. Your microphone. See if it's a little bit. Push it a little bit closer to your mouth.
Oh my God. Is that better?
Yeah, that sounds. Now speak up. Now it sounds better.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just moved the microphone away from my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So did you hear me? I introduced myself as Marilyn McGreer.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
So
my name is Ahmad Sani.
My name is Samuel Akpu, or Sam.
My name is ID Adonison. I'm a member.
Okay, my name is Megan Sige. I'm the treasurer.
And my name is Aline Mugisha. Yeah.
Olajide Durojai, board member.
Welcome. Go ahead with the introductions.
Yeah, I'm Kabna Fusu, a member.
Thank you.
Good evening, it's Charles Chuma.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Board member. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, hello. This is Georgina. I'm a member.
Thank
Georgina
you.
Severo.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Orlean Soares.
Thank you. So we're seeing all the people. So we're just going to go ahead. We have done the introductions, and we've already called the meeting to order. And I'll just read through the agenda. It says introductions, call to order, which we have just done, approval of the agenda, and let me read the agenda I'm reading, and the agenda says the third thing is approval of agenda. Number 4 is reading approval of minutes from previous AGM. Number 5 item is the president's remarks and reports. And number 6 item on this is Mayor Cathy and Councillor Ray Watkins speeches. We are expecting Mayor Cathy and Councillor.
Can people go on mute, please?
Please, can you mute so that if you have a background sound? Thank you. So Mayor Cathy and Councillor Ray Watkins, hopefully they're going to come on and they'll give speeches whenever they come. We're going to have the treasurer's report and the presentation of the budget, and we'll do other business number 8. That's a reappointment of members of our financial review, people that reviewed our statements of accounts, approval or an amendment to our bylaws, and calling people up for the volunteer committee and the other matters. And we'll have announcements, recognition of service, and a date for our AGM for next year and adjournment. And I want to ask, will somebody move a motion? Just move a motion for us to approve this agenda, or if you want us to add something, just go ahead and let us know what you would like to add.
I can approve the agenda as read.
Okay.
That's Marilyn, so.
Okay, Marilyn, thank you very much, ma'am. So I'll make a note. Jermaine, are you taking notes there?
I'm just looking for a pen.
Okay, so you read through it that Marilyn approved the agenda, and so we'll go ahead to the next item, reading and approval of minutes. So Jermaine is our secretary. She'll go ahead to read the minutes of last meeting.
I just have to carry on. I'd like to second it. I think you need two people to, you get an approval and you get a secondment. Okay, so I'll second the approval of the meeting.
Thank you of the agenda. Thank you, sir. It's on record. So, Jermaine, please go ahead with reading of the minutes.
Okay, so these are the minutes for our last meeting, held on the 25th of August 2019 at 4 p.m. at the Lions Park in St. Albert, Alberta. So present were the President, Helen Aboniso, the Vice President, Mr. Ahmed Kesani, the Treasurer, Megan Sige, Busola Ajibola as Director, Jermaine Yonge as Secretary, Severin Sinze as Director, Grace Tyrell, Director, Dr. Jide Julujayi as Director, and Clint Cupido as Director. So we also had other general members present, and all the names are on the list with their families, and then we had an approximate number of 55 adults and over 60 children. So Mrs. Therese Lagoke was the compare for the day and called for the meeting to order at 4 p.m. with a moment of silent prayer. So now is the agenda. Mrs. Lagoke moved the approval of the agenda. All in favor. This was the first meeting and there were no minutes. So the meeting continued with the President's remarks. So in her welcome address, the President, Helen Abonison, talked about the importance of coming together as a group in St. Albert. She stressed the objectives of the group, which is for us to integrate and give more to our community, mentor our kids and ourselves, and become more visible in the community by showcasing our culture, traditions, and history, and also by volunteering in community events. She encouraged everyone to participate in the discussion sessions, taste the various foods from others, make new friends, and be involved in various activities that would be carried out during the inaugural event. So during the introduction, the MC encouraged everyone to socialize by moving around, reading, and getting to know each other. As for entertainment, the MC directed people to go in family groups to the buffet table to get themselves some food and drinks. So the discussion segments were led by Mr. Ahmed Sani, and the deliberations were as follows. Mr. Ahmed Sani led the discussion segment, which was based on the objectives of the club as outlined by the President in her welcome speech. There were various contributions, but for lack of enough time, it was agreed that the discussions be moved online. A discussion paper was passed to everyone to send in their feedback later. The discussion points were as follows. Should we continue the association and events of this nature? If yes, should it be once or twice yearly? Everyone agreed it was good that we were coming together. Most people responded that twice a year was good for our coming together. Summer, and the end of the year get together. Secondly, the current goals of the groups are broken down into 3 major categories. 1, projecting African culture and history to the people of St. Albert through events like organizing Taste of Africa events, an evening of dance, poetry, fashion, parades, etc. Having a float during the radio parade, participating in City of St. Albert events that require the presentation of our culture, etc. What are your thoughts? Any more ideas? Are there people that would like to help with organizing and volunteering for this? Second category was assisting and supporting ourselves and families and mentoring our kids. This involves career talks for our kids and teens, summer cooking camps, interest group activities like dance, exercise, kids play date, etc. Father and son events, mother and daughter events, visit to the elderly in our community. What are your thoughts? Any more ideas? Are there people that are interested in the above? The third category was giving back to our community. This involves helping with the food bank drives, tree planting, neighborhood cleanup, helping with food bank kitchen, visit the old age. What are your thoughts? Any more ideas? Are there people that would like to help with organizing and volunteering for it? And lastly, any other ideas for the group? What are your thoughts? Any more ideas? Are there people that would like to help with organizing and volunteering? So greetings and speeches from elected officials. Elected official speeches. The occasion was also graced by the mayor of the city and the MLA and MP who was represented for the community. They gave words of encouragement and pledged to support us whenever needed. Mayor Kathy expressed her surprise at the number of people of African descent that she saw at the event. She assured us that this was the beginning of something excellent. She encouraged us to get registered, become more visible in the community, and assured us that the city was ready to give any support that we may need with regards to getting space for our events. She also stated that she will do her best to attend our events whenever she is invited. The MLA, Marie Renaud, thanked the group for the invitation and expressed her support for the group. She mentioned that her office is open to assist in any area she could. The MP, Michael Cooper, represented by Paddy Schultz, presented the group with a congratulatory scroll for our inaugural event. She mentioned that the MP's office is available to assist us in various areas such as immigration and authorization of documents, open discussions and contributions from membership. Contributions from general membership. Papa Hadayat Wahiba made an input in the area of mentoring our children and the ideas of activities we could consider doing in the city. Ufoma Fringin talked about our area of interest, which was fighting racism, and her association. She had a table set up displaying the activities of her association. Mr. Owen Fringin also made an input to the discussions that were going on. Recognition of service. Mrs. Helen Abotnison thanked everyone present there and expressed her heartfelt gratitude to those that brought food, drinks, tables, chairs, and helped set up the place for the event. Next year's AGM date. Next year's AGM date, Sunday, August 30th. Date subject to change with 30 days minimum notice given. Adjournment. Mrs. Torise Lagoke moved to adjourn the meeting at 6 p.m. Dancing and entertainment continued thereafter with a picture session to immortalize the event. So these are the minutes for the last meeting. Do we have anyone who wants to move the minutes, or are there any corrections to be made?
Is there anyone that would like to make any correction? If you were there, you want to make a correction to the minutes?
It looks like, the way I remember, it's pretty decent recollection. I'm not sure there's much to add, except anybody else has anything to add.
Okay. So sir, you move a motion for us to.
I can move a motion for adoption of the meeting. If we get someone to second it.
Please, can someone second that, please?
Seconded.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we're going to the next item. It's supposed to be the president's remarks and reports, but we're so happy to have our Councillor Ray Watkins, a councillor that represents us here. And we want to say we're going to shift the agenda to add you to say something to us, Councillor Ray Watkins, before we continue. You want to say something to us now?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm happy to be a part of the organization, and I am here to help you in any way I can and help the community in any way I can. And make sure if you my personal cell is 780-907-9663. Okay, that's not my city number. That's my personal 780-907-9663. And if you need any information, or you're having a hard time understanding anything that's happening at City Hall, feel free to give me a call. And I think what we have to do as a community is find other Black people to run for office. And since the election's coming up in a year from now, we should get on that, trying to find some people. That doesn't matter what age, and I will help you through the process. Step by step, I'll help you with your campaign, whatever, if you want to run. And also, we should think of putting somebody forward to the school board, because from that last meeting, obviously they weren't listening. At least that one person wasn't really listening to what we were saying anyway. So we should just get our names out, get the names out there, and try to get on some of these boards too. Try to get on the school board. So let's think of somebody we can get out there. And like I said, I will help any candidate in this community run, if they're running for the school board or city council or federally or provincially or whatever. I'll give you as much help as I can, and I'll help run your campaign. I'll do whatever the heck I can to help you out. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that we do have now a position. I sit on the police committee. We have a position called the Public Complaints Director, and that's a guy whose name's Al Bohoychuk. And what it is basically, if somebody has a concern with the RCMP, there's a couple things you can do. You can go to the police committee meeting, which I am a member of, and you'll have the opportunity to speak there. But if you don't feel comfortable going to the police committee and you have a complaint, you can go talk to Al Bohoychuk, and he's just a private citizen, a non-paid private citizen, a member of the police committee, and he will help you direct your concern or complaint that you have through the process. He can't make it for you, but he can assist. He can assist us in that.
Okay.
Sorry?
You do the shopping with this project man all the time. I think you just finish the school. That is what I'm after.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Go on mute. No, I don't think he was talking to.
Okay.
You know, say some lecturers are very funny.
Excuse me.
Please go on. You can mute everybody except Councillor Watkins.
Okay, please, can you help mute everyone?
I know all about muting. So you make sure you're muted. I'll tell you that one right now. You heard about my guffaw. You don't want to be doing that. So yeah, so I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And with Al Bohoychuk, as I was saying, he's the public complaints director with the city of St. Albert. And if there's any concern we have with the police, you can either come to me or you can come to Al, and I'll bring those concerns forward to the police committee. And also, if we have more concerns with the school boards and they're not listening to us, they have public meetings, and we can go to those public meetings and make a presentation there. And if people need help making the presentation, once again, I will come with you. I'll help you make the presentation. I'll be more than happy to help on that side of it, okay? And like I said, I gave you my cell number there. Sometimes I'm pretty busy, so just be persistent. Call me, text me. Helen knows. Just call me, text me. Eventually, I'll get back to you, and eventually, I'll show up. But I just got a lot of things on my plate. So that's probably pretty much it from what I can say about council. You know, we've had the whole COVID thing. I guess on the whole COVID thing, you know, we're trying to get facilities back open as safe and as quickly as we can. There was a lot of feedback on the mask bylaw. A lot of people hated it, and I'm still getting a lot of feedback on it. But people were trying to say it was a human rights issue, and I said, as a person of color, believe me, it's not a human rights issue in my book. It's an issue of public health. And you know, whether you agree with it or not, whether the city approved it or not, you can't go in Walmart anymore without a mask. All sorts of stores are putting in these restrictions on their own anyway. So I think it's just the way of life for a while here. The other thing is also with helping our community, if people need a reference or they need help with getting a reference, you can give me a call. And if you prep me beforehand, I can give some kid a reference or somebody adult or any of you guys that need kind of a reference, but I have to know you a little bit. You got to talk to me and we got to figure out, you know, just where you stand, and I'll help you out with a reference too. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm really here to help the community. And like I said, I think the most important thing that we can do as a community is get more people in office. So we should really start thinking about running some candidates in the next civic election, which is next October, and if there's a federal election coming up, and also at the school board. So I think that's it, Helen. I think that's a lot, but if anybody has any questions, you can ask me any questions if you want, or anything you'd like me to help you do that I'm not doing, I'll try to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Councillor Watkins. We truly appreciate your support, and we see you as someone we could look up to inspire our children. That's why we will definitely be calling on you in more events, because we want to keep having people from our community talking to our children, inspiring people. You know, so we have lots of that, and we'll be looking out in our community who wants to run for office and things like that to get people on board. And thank you for inspiring us and bringing that idea to us. You know, sometimes we don't think about the school board and what they do. And
And once again, the mentoring too. Like I'm more than glad to mentor a bunch of youth if you want to get a bunch of youth together, because I know what it's like being the only black kid in school most of the time, right? Because I grew up my whole life like that in Windsor, Ontario. It wasn't here, but in Windsor, right? So if there's any kids who need a talking to, or you can direct them my way, or if you want a group of kids, you want to sit down, I'll mentor them. I'm more than happy to do any of that for you, okay?
Thank you very much, Councillor Watkins. Truly appreciate. Then I will go straight on. If anytime Mayor comes in, we'll give her a chance to say something to us. I'll go ahead to read my reports to everyone now. So first, I want to start by saying that on behalf of the board, we are 10 of us on the board. We're still expecting other people to log into this line. We're a 10-member board. On behalf of the board, we're so happy to welcome every one of us today to this annual general meeting. And we want to start first to say thank you to our elected officials. I know Mayor Cathy is not here, but we want to say thank you to her for all her support since we started 12 months ago, and she's been attending our meetings. And we want to say thank you to Councillor Watkins for all your support and words of advice. And finally, we want to say thank you to every one member of our community, because we've seen that if we hold a meeting and people don't show up, it's not as, you understand, we can't do anything. But we're so thankful that every meeting that we've been calling since August 25th, we've had people attending those meetings, and we've had lots of people volunteering, and we have also people donating to help our causes. So we want to say thank you. We do not take anybody's presence or anybody's contribution for granted. We say thank you on behalf of the board. We say thank you. You know, last year we had our event at the park, and we wish we could have that event again like that this year, but COVID has happened, right? So we're thankful for technology. But the host, we're going to be sharing some of the pictures from last year's event. We had lots of people in the last year's event that we had at Lions Park. And during that event, after the event, we now planned what was our objective. The first was we came together and we settled at 3 objectives, which was to project African culture and history to St. Albert residents through events, because we found out that there's so many people from St. Albert that don't really understand African culture, you know, something history, the stories. So part of our objective is to project that culture and history through the stories we're going to tell during events. The second thing was supporting each other to settle and integrate into our community. And the third objective was giving back to our community through volunteering. So those were the 3 objectives. And I'm going to just go through what we have done so far in the past 12 months in like a chronological order. So after the August 25th event, the next event that we were involved in was Alberta Culture Days. We did not know about Culture Days all this while that was something that happens in Alberta. So we're involved in Alberta Culture Days, September 21st and September 28th. We had a table at City Hall. We had lots of people stop by our table to see our clothes. We told them where the clothes were from. And people really were like, oh my goodness, we didn't know you people were in our community this month. We say, yes, we're here. So we are hoping, if you look at the picture, we had other kids like wearing the things from our community and really appreciating them. And so we're hoping that the next culture days that we're going to be having, we'll have more people. This year's culture day is going to be online because of COVID. And we are hoping that next year when we will do culture days, we'll have lots of people bring items from their community, from your cultural group to display and allow people to speak with you about it. It's also an opportunity for us to tell people about the real rich cultural heritage that we have. So after the September 21st and 28th Alberta Culture Days activity, on October the 9th, we registered our association. So we registered October the 9th as a not-for-profit association in Alberta. So just so you know, we're registered not-for-profit. So that was a huge milestone for us. And on October the 25th, 27th, on a Sunday, we had It Takes a Village to Raise a Child event. That was well attended. We had lots of kids from our community. We had Minister Casey Mado come to talk to the kids about how he got to where he got to inspire them. So we had Casey Mado, we had Mayor Cathy. Mayor Cathy also told us about what she read in school and what she's doing now to inspire the children. We had Councillor Ray Watkins. He had his pictures that he was telling us about his history, his heritage. I'm telling you, the kids loved it. They loved seeing people, you understand, his picture as a kid, and look at him now. You know, they were really, really inspired. So that event we had October the 25th. And if you could see from the pictures, we had lots of kids, lots of parents. And it's our hope that even with COVID, that we'll be able to do this event, even if it's online, or if it's possible to do it physically with social distance and masks. We don't know how it's going to happen, but it's our hope that we can do that as part of the things we do to inspire our children. So on November the 27th, we had members of our community go volunteer for cultivating care in our community. They had limited spots, but we had the vice president and his family representing us there to volunteer, and they really appreciated the fact that we came out, we had our faces, because that's part of our goal. We want to have our faces in everywhere. Let it not look, you know, when things are happening in the community, they don't see us, you know. So we want to have our faces there. We want to be represented, you know. So we're so happy that November the 27th, we had that event. And on December the 10th, we had volunteers help with Christmas hampers with the St. Albert Kenites. So we helped them package hampers for the less privileged in our community. So we had 4 families there to help with that sorting of hampers. So it's something that we're seeing, and we're going to still be talking to ourselves that we need to volunteer more. We need to increase our participation in our community. So that's something that we will have to be pushing more, to have our members of our community volunteer at different places. So that's part of what we'll do after now, that the volunteer committee will increase activities, look for activities where we can volunteer in a very safe manner, especially during this COVID times. Okay, and on December the 19th, we had our end of the year get together, and we had lots of community members that attended that event. And something that event does to us is that it shows that we are more or less like a village within the community of St. Albert. You know, it's like you have your village meeting where, you understand, members of your village, African community, coming together to see ourselves. So we know COVID has happened, but we hope that at the end of this year, we'll still gather physically, even with masks, with social distancing in cohorts. We'll do our best to have a celebration. Even in this year, we're going to do our best to have that. So that was December the 19th. And on February the 1st, for the first time in St. Albert, we had Black History Month declared. Mayor Cathy declared Black History Month in St. Albert, and that event was attended by MLAs Mary Renault, David Shepherd, and Dan Nally. We had Councillor Watkins gave a beautiful speech, very inspiring speech, you know, and it's something that we really appreciate, the fact that we, all of us in this community, are the ones that made that happen. That Black History Month was declared in St. Albert, and we hope to keep doing that event every year, to keep reminding ourselves that we are in this community and we're doing very well. You know, so we'll have to keep doing that event. And the Friends of the Arden Theatre, they donated a performance, a musical performance from Mbira Renonza, and all through the month of February, we're so blessed, and we partnered with the museum and the library, and we had the pictures and stories of people from our community showcased at the museum. I don't know how many people had time to go and look at those stories, but they were beautiful stories, and we want to thank Mr. Mawuse and Esi Golokoma and Marilyn Magrea, JC Lipscomb, Bosola, that helped give some of these pictures and some things that were displayed at the museum. So we hope that we're going to be planning, and now we are aware, we're going to be planning ahead of time with the museum. And the library also had a display for Black History Month for the first time. So our partnership is yielding a lot of fruit, because now they are very much aware that we are in the community, and they are now tilting their programming, you understand, to also benefit people of color. So we had a stand from the library for Black History Month. So that was in February, and in partnership with the library, Shiloh Center for Multicultural Roots, and the museum. We also had a movie that we watched, a movie in the library. It was called We Are the Roots, also showing the roots of people that came from Amber Valley, their stories, it was well attended. So many people appreciated it. So now, since we have done that, in the next year, we hope that we will publicize this event. When we want to do it, we'll start our partnerships early. Hopefully, COVID will allow us do some of this event. That was February the 8th. And on February 13th, we had some of our community members volunteer at the food bank. And we had these families gather and help to sort food and make hampers. And people, they were so happy that they saw us. We were part of the community helping. So this is some of the things that we're going to be pushing to have more of our people volunteer. We know that everybody has the time at the same, everybody doesn't have the time, but every time you have, we want to see how we get our children and ourselves out there to volunteer. And on the February the 29th, we had a very big event, which was the Taste of Africa. And it was such a welcome event to our community. After the event, when we sat with the Arden Theater, they said, you know what? They never believed that we'll be able to pull through that event, that it was so well organized, so well attended, we sold out. That what they said is so obvious that the community was looking for something else, an addition, something else. They were looking for color, and we brought something to the entertainment, with entertainment, history, and education in a very, very nice atmosphere. So that's something that we want to say thank you to everyone. We have to keep saying thank you to everyone that helped spread the word, bought tickets, donated their time, brought food. You made that thing a success. You made Taste of Africa a success, and lots of people are actually looking forward to us having that event again. So after the Taste of Africa event and activities in February, March, and April with COVID, what we did during March and April was welfare. We're more or less reaching out to members of our community. We knew there were challenges. We're reaching out to members of our community to make sure that everyone is doing well. And by June, we formed a partnership with Centaba Further Education and Family and Community Support Services of Alberta. And together we applied for a grant, and we were so successful in getting a grant of $4,000. And based on that grant, we've now been able to do lots of things. We now have a designated phone line for the association. We have a Zoom account that we've paid for the year, and we've had opportunities of helping our members with groceries, because that's part of the grant, was helping vulnerable people in our community. So that's part of what we do. And we were able to get that grant because we came together. We formed an association, and we now have built a history. That's why they now have to reach out to us to say, we know you guys have a community, you're organized. So is there any way we could help? So we now told them that there's a possibility that some people might be shy to go to the food bank, or even if they go to the food bank, they might not have the food that they regularly eat. But through our association, we can get those groceries to help them. And we've been able to help, so far we got that grant, we've been able to help 2 members of our community. And that was in June. And in July, we had the conversation circle. And that conversation circle was on building a stronger community, education about our challenges, and collaborating to solving them. And we were so thankful for the opportunity to have the mayor, the MP, the school boards in that meeting, to talk to them. And it opened our eyes into about the importance of us as members of the community to participate in what's going on in school council. So that was an event that we did, and we believe we have started something that we will have to work on. We have to work on it to make sure we make it better. You understand? We get more collaboration, with other members of the community. We're so happy we have Councillor Ray Watkins here telling us about the police committee, that we can partner with them more, because after this conversation circle, they still reach out to us and sent us a letter, email telling us that they would like to work with us. If we have another event, they would like to work with us to attend. So that was in July. And in August, as a result of the partnership, the event that we did, Conversation Circle, we had the August 26th, we now went with the Lacompa Community Garden to help them plant. So our vice president here is actively working with them to give us a space where we could also cultivate African types of plants and fruits. So it's something that that we are working on, and hopefully we will get lots of results. And it's something I'm still encouraging us, that when we plan to have this event, if you can get your children to attend. It's so important that we do this thing. Sometimes we are looking for how do we still remind ourselves some parts of our culture that we're far away. These are some of the things that we could do to remind our children something that we have been doing from back home, So when next we're going to announce it to get people to be involved. So looking at this report, you agree with us that the last 12 months has been really busy for all members of our community. We've been actively involved and seeking for ways, if after the first event, Mayor Kati said, we want to see more members of our community. We want to see them participate. And that's how what we're doing with all these activities that we're doing. So in the next few months, we know COVID has happened, but there are still things that are still happening behind the scenes that we're going to be doing. So already we have plans in place for Alberta Culture Days. Alberta Culture Days starts from 1st of September to the end. And we already have partnered with the committee that organizes Culture Days. They are called the St. Albert Cultivates the Arts Society, and we are bringing up 4 events. So one of the events that we're bringing up at this event is called Puff Puff Making with Jermaine. Puff Puff is a snack that people have different names for it. So we're doing Puff Puff Making with Jermaine. She's going to be doing that. We already have a date. We're going to be announcing the dates currently on Eventbrite. The St. Albert Cultivates the Art already have all their events on Eventbrite for people to register. So we have Puff Puff Making, we have Jollof Rice Making with Fola, we have Afro Fusion Dance with Ivan Tuku, and we have Kazizi Craft Making with the museum that we're going to be doing in September. So we already have things already in place as part of our activities, but it's going to be online. So I'm going to be encouraging all of us that take advantage of these free events that we're partnering and doing. It's part of our way of projecting ourselves, into the community, so that they know what other assets we brought into the community. So another thing that we're looking forward to doing, in addition to all the other events, is we applied for a grant. Last month we have applied for a grant to set up a youth resource center for our children here in St. Albert. And so we're hoping that that grant comes through. And when the grant comes through, and that grant is for us to buy equipment, we're hoping to buy computers, buy programs, you understand, set up on the computer, buy robotic things and printers to print in 3D, because we want to have after-school clubs for our children. So those are part of the things that we are planning and hoping that we get grants to do from October. And we have partnership with St. Albert Further Education to use their space, because we don't have a permanent space. We're hoping that we get the grant, and they have agreed that we can use their space for our youth programming. And we also have partnership with Dr. Bukola Salami of the University of Alberta. So we're planning that by the time we have this grant, we will also have parents that will volunteer and partner with us. Because if we have the grant, we have the equipment. If parents don't bring their children, then we have not achieved the goal of the youth center. So that's something we're going to be speaking to every parent here, that please, we are trying to make sure that our children are properly set up, you understand, to be successful in our community. So by the time we set up those things, we are praying and pleading that you bring up your children. Sometimes we might have programs, you understand, that might run for weeks or months. We're pleading that when we have this setup, that we'll have people that will bring their children. So that's, we're hoping that will be in October, and that we'll be able to plan something. And we're planning that we'll have volunteer committees that will work on different aspects of what we do. And so we will be asking that, please, any area that you think you could support, that you bring your expertise. If you have a little time, we encourage you to participate in those activities that we'll be having. That way, all of us will be achieving. That's why when we started, we said the association doesn't belong to one person. The association belongs to all of us coming together to achieve something for our community. So we'll be encouraging everyone. So we also, in the next few days, will be applying for grants for Black History Month. And we also plan to apply for grants to run the association, because we hope that that anyone that you know will be, where by the time we have the grant, we'll call anyone that you're committed and you know you will be able to help us the administrative work that is involved in the association, and we'll be able to pay a honorarium for people to do work in the association. And we'll be able to give, especially if you have administrative skills and things like that, we want to give opportunities for people. I'll give reference for you doing that too. So we have lots of things that we will be planning for the next year, and we'll be giving opportunities for anyone. If you have ideas of what you think we could do, please reach out to us. You have our official numbers, or you have my number. We have the WhatsApp group. Please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to hear from you. So that's the end of my report so far. Does anybody have questions before we move a motion? If you have questions or anything to add before we move a motion for the acceptance of the report. Thank you very much for listening. Does anybody have a question? Anything to add? Can somebody move a motion to, I'm going to be sending the reports to the general group and to anyone that would want to have this report. Can anybody want to move a motion to accept the reports?
Councilor Watson wants to say something. Are you? Oh, sorry. Just move. Just move the motion to. Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent report. Well done.
Thank you,
for all
sir.
the efforts, and well done to all members of the group. Hopefully, the 2020 will be, or 2021 will be just as good or even better.
Thank you very much, sir.
So yeah, I move a motion to adopt it. Everybody is happy.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So we'll go around to the next.
Sorry, Helen, can I request that whoever is moving the motion or seconding says their full name, so that for record purpose, please.
Okay, sir.
I think that's in order. So name is Olajide Alfred Drojai. So moving the motion, I move the motion to adopt the minutes as well as the president's report.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So we'll move to the next item. Our treasurer is going to give a report and present the budget for the new year.
Okay, hi again to everybody. I hope you understand me. My name is Megan Sige, and for the last year, ending August 31st, 2020. So for the revenue, general revenue, we had $12,150.76. and the expenses was $8,932.90, and we have a net asset of $3,217.86. In details, I'm going to come back to the revenue. We sold the tickets for $4,140. We received a grant for $4,000. We rented the table during the Taste of Africa for $340, and we had different donation for $3,670.76. This donation include cash, money, and nature donation, like donation in nature, meaning that if you gave a chicken or clothes, it was counted. So that is the total that gives us the $12,150.76. For our expenses, we also accounted for any donation and anything we did. We tried the most we could to account for every single, but I have to say before continuing that thank you, Helen, for everything. I know that you donated more than we counted here. For the food, we spent $3,591.24. Renting was the venue rental was $3,215.85. Printing $96. I'm not English speaking, sorry. I'm a French speaking, so some words are a little difficult for me. Honorarios, something like that, Norium, $565. Incorporating the organization was $125. And the expenses related to the grant, the phone purchase was $303.24. Hospitality, $397.30, and the Zoom subscription, $210. Advertising, $24.16. Bank charges, $44. Memory card and flags, $146.71. Clothing, $213.90. The total expenses I gave you earlier was $8,932.90. That gives the net asset we have for $3,217.86. That was the review for the last year. I'm just going to repeat myself. We have the cash in bank for $3,217.86 and no liability at this point. And that's what we have for equity at the bank. Any question or any before I move to the next part? Okay, should I move on?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So what I'm going to read now is the budget proposition for the coming year. Income. Youth Center grant is $40,000. Event tickets, $4,000. Taste of Africa grant, $15,000. Donation, expected donation, $4,000. Other income from grants, $10,000. Total projection is $73,000. Sorry. Now expenses: food, $5,000. Venue rental, $4,500. Printing, $500. Honorarium for events, I'm going to make sure that I'm reading 3,000. Zoom subscription, $220. Telephone, $315. Hospitality, $1,500. Advertising, $300. Bank charges, $250. Custom for event, $500. Youth center equipment expenses, $40,000. Office administration expenses, $10,000. Other program and event expenses, $6,915. Total expenses expected will be $73,000. And plus what we have now in the bank is $3,217.86. So the net at the end of 2021 is expected to be a positive $3,217.86.
Thank you very much, Megan. Can someone move a motion to accept no one has a question to ask, to move a motion to accept her report?
Sorry, I have a question about the budget, and it's with the volunteering hours. Are we adding that to revenue? Because when those are going to be income, when people volunteer their hours, are we considering, is it a financial accounting thing to consider that as part of revenue?
Yes, we're going to be working on that. That's part of the reason why we'll have to get someone to help us account for the time, the volunteer hours that we're putting into our events planning and things. We're going to be working together because the grants we're applying for Black History Month has in-kind donation as part of what we're bringing on board. And even the youth center that we're also planning to set up has a portion for in-kind donation of our time that we're going to be costing. So that's why we're going to be calling for volunteers to help us with that administrative work of costing of our time. So yes, we're going to be doing that. But in this budget, I don't think that's been added. We just added just numbers of estimates that we're expecting and donations from people, because the Taste of Africa, we had lots of people that donated food. So that was costed and added into our accounts.
Okay, I'm asking about the next year budget and not the past budget. I understand the past budget. I was just asking, but we can always revise the budget. I was just asking in terms of the one we're planning for 2021, right?
Yes.
That's what
I just wanted to say that if there is something you want to mention as an addition.
I can't hear. I can't hear you.
No, I think that if there's anything you want us to write down as an addition, we can right now just put it and then we will see how it works in the budget.
No, I understand based on what Ellen is saying, because you can't cost it now. I'm just saying that because at this time, even if you add it, you can't know the amount to put to it.
No, a projection, my understanding is that a projection is not like we can just say that, you know what, we think that we have 30 hours of volunteering and then we want to estimate it at this amount and then we put something. That's how I see it. It's not like, it's also a projection. It's just like we believe that people will be volunteering that many hours and then we budget it that way. It can be right, it can be wrong, but at the end of the year, then we see it.
Okay. Okay.
We can always revise the budget, correct?
Yes.
Exactly.
We'll revise it. So maybe you make a note there to add volunteer hours.
Yeah,
the number of people, and for each event, the volunteer hours for planning, volunteer hours for managing the event, and we'll cost it per person that's involved in the planning and managing of events. So does anyone have any other thing to add to that?
We think that we could ratify the budget at the board level if there are corrections to be made, we probably don't have to. We might ratify at the board level and then just, just let the members know. But yeah, it sounds like a pretty detailed budget.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody want to move a motion for us to accept her reports, and some of the corrections will be done later?
Possibly somebody that hasn't moved or seconded before, please, so that we can have even participation.
Does anybody want to second that?
No, I don't think he's moving the motion. I thought he was saying something about possibly somebody that has not moved any motion.
Yeah, please, can we have someone?
Before I continue, I'm so sorry. I just didn't mention something that I should mention, that the budget was reviewed by Torishe Lagoke and Anthony Benson. I think that is important to mention that. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone that has not moved any motion, please, can you move a motion for us to accept our report?
Kwabena is unmuted. It looks like you want to say something, Kwabena.
Yeah, if there's no issues, I would like to move the motion and accept it.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
Anyway.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to...
We need somebody to second it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Essie Golokuma. I was trying to figure out this Zoom thing. Okay, what should I say? I second it, is that it?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's move to the next item on, which is other business. I know Torishe Lagoke is not here, and I don't know if Mr. Anthony Benson, if he's here. Where part of what we want to do is to reappoint them as members of our financial review committee, for them to review our accounts next year. So do we all support the fact that we want them by show of hands? We support that they be reappointed to review our finances. Yeah. So everybody is accepted. So yeah, they will be. So Torishe has a designation. She's a certified general accountant, and Benson has an MBA, and he's also a financial person. He has lots of experience with finances. So they took time to go through our bank statements and things to make sure that we're doing things correctly, because we know very well that that's something that we don't toy with as an association, the finances, to make sure that our finances are in order and follows the regulations. So another thing on this is to approve amendments and addition to the bylaws. So part of the things that when we register the association, yeah, sir.
I'm sorry, before we go on, it might be that as we get stronger and more for it, because I sit on under board in St. Albert, and I sort of want some mirror what's going on in there. It might be that we need, I don't know what the legislative requirements are for what is considered acceptable accounting. I know that there's probably some legislative requirements for auditing, and I think for the purpose of assessing, it might be that they are not quite as strict for our friendship organizations. But even though these people are certified, I don't know whether they're doing it in the capacity as like a volunteer, which would be completely acceptable as long as they're willing to defend us if we need to defend our finances, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that the first or second year will probably need to do any auditing, but it's probably something that we should have in mind. And maybe it's something that we can discuss at the board level as well. Maybe we can have people look at what the legislations are, just making sure that we're on the right side of the law. Because once you access government funds, you'll be required to retire appropriately. So just a food for thought. I just wanted to do that in the
Does anybody have something to add to that? Okay, so just to clarify that, so in the bylaws, there's a section, the bylaw came as when you're registering for the association. The bylaw comes from the Government of Alberta website when you're registering association. So they said the part of what is in the bylaw is either we get an auditor to audit our accounts, which means we're going to pay a good chunk of money to get an auditor, or we get 2 members of our association to look through our accounts. So that's the reason why we got them. And the good thing is that we also have a 3rd person in case any of those persons are not available. We also have another person that is a CPA. So they also know that the regulation that they can review, but they're not auditing our accounts. But we are available if anybody wants to audit the account, because we have the receipts of what we're doing. And the way our account is set up is that it's set up that only 2 people can sign the account. So we have 3 of the board members as signatories to the account, and 2 people must sign. So we know you must have 2 people, and that's also to have our checks and balances to make sure that we can have 1 person signing the accounts of the association.
Fantastic. Well done. Looks like we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, so
perfect. Yeah,
we put that in place to make sure we are following. So that's it. So everybody has agreed, and the next thing is to approve amendments and addition to the bylaws. So what this particular aspect means is that when we downloaded the forms and registered for an association, there are certain positions that were not available, they were not listed, but we already have those associations by board resolutions that we made to regularize our vice president, Mr. Ahmed Sani, and also to regularize the fact that we have online activities that we do. For instance, we have a WhatsApp, which we use to do meetings, to put that into our bylaws. So we're going to be working with them in the next few months with them to tell them to make changes to our bylaws, to put the position of a vice president, to also put that we're going to be having online meetings, because with COVID now we're not meeting physically. So to also put that online meetings are part of our bylaws. So those are the changes that we're going to be making to our bylaws, which all of us at this time, if we call people for a physical meeting, it's a challenge to have people. So to put the change of add the vice position of a vice president in our bylaws, make the change to add online meetings as our approved meetings and things. So those are the changes that we're going to be making, and we're going to be making it available to our board members for them to approve, because we need board members to approve that, just like we had to put it on this meetings. That's something that we're going to do. The next thing I'm going to talk about is our volunteer committees. Volunteer committees. So what those volunteer committees, we found out that over the past 12 months that we just have few people that are so involved. You know, if you're looking for the same thing, the same people are like involved. So we want to have more people, you know, participate. And so that's the reason we created the volunteer committees. And so we're going to be calling on people that will want to be a part of this volunteer committees. And I know that some of our board members already have members, chairs of those committees. And I don't know who else would like to join the different volunteer committees. Let me read out the committees that we have. We have a committee for volunteering. Jermaine is the chair of that committee. So if you would like to be a part of it, you can just send a text message to the chat. So we have a committee for volunteering. That committee, they will look for volunteer spots within our community and call us to go volunteer, and they will organize it. We also have events committee. When we're having events, we need to have people that will help us manage those events. We also have fundraising committee because we do lots of fundraising, and we hope that in future we're going to do a fundraising with the St. Albert Valley Village. We don't know if you are someone that likes to donate things to the Valley Village, and we're planning to set up fundraising with them. They have told us what to do, that we should organize members of our community. If we have lots of things, we just organize one day, take the things to them, and they're going to give money to our association. So we have a fundraising committee. We also have a finance committee. Megan is the chair of that committee. We have Mr. Charles and Torisha, the people that review the committee. And we also have policy procedures and admin. We're still looking for lots of people for that committee because it's a lot of work to administer the association. So we're asking for help. We really need lots of help with administration. So we also have the welfare committee. The welfare committee, you have Grace Ann that's responsible for that committee. So we're so happy that we have AC Golokoma helping us. I wonder how many of us have received calls from people from the welfare committee. How many people have you received any call from them? If you, by show of hands, if you received calls from, you know.
Yeah, also you're doing a great job. Thanks for
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So we want to continue doing it because we don't want to let anybody fall through the cracks to say, oh, we forgot. We're assuming that Dr. Jide is doing well. It's not a bad thing for Dr. Jide to hear someone else's voice asking him, how are you doing? So we want more people to join that welfare committee. And there's also another very important committee.
Yeah, that was nice actually. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So that was a good thing. We've had lots of beautiful feedback from that welfare committee that the people were happy that people were thinking about them. And just so you know, if you know anyone that is having a challenge, send us a private text message. A little help. We still have funds from the family and community support services that we can reach out. There are people from the welfare team that are able to help buy groceries and deliver. So please, if you know anyone that is struggling, that doesn't mind a little help from the association, please reach out to us. So another committee that will really be looking for people is the mentoring and training committee. They are the ones that will be talking to people like newcomers to Canada that are in our community. So we've partnered with Further Education, and Further Education is helping us. So if they have someone of African descent that's trying to settle in our community, we want to direct them to our mentors that will be help them to settle. You know, somebody needs information about where to get a house that is cheaper. Somebody needs to help for resume. And this mentoring committee will also be helping us with organizing our youth events. So please, any area that you think you can help, please either send us a text message to our official lines or to me so that we can put you in those committees. So when those committees are meeting, you'll be able to call. So it's volunteer committee, event management committee, fundraising committee, finance committee, policy and procedures and admin committee, welfare committee, and mentoring committee. So if you want to be a part of it, please send us a text message. We'll be happy to have more people participate in these things.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, please go ahead then.
What's the commitment for the committees? Like how many hours a week or month, or does it vary? Just so I know what I'm signing up for.
It varies, my dear. It varies. Just depends on what comes up. Like as it is now, we've not, because of COVID, we've not scheduled, besides our Better Culture Days that we know it's firm for next month, We want to start knowing how to do mentoring for kids. Our school is starting now. We want to plan a mentoring event for our children. So we can't really tell how long, but most times our events are not more than 2 hours. Most physical event, but the planning maybe online for an hour or less. And if an event is coming up for a committee, we just try to do like a WhatsApp to make it easy that if you're not available to get the information later, the information, you can read the information and make your inputs. So any other questions regarding our volunteer committees?
Just to further encourage people, I think my understanding is so far you can sort of plan your own work. I mean, every little helps. If it's half an hour, you can volunteer. You can't be there all the time. I think that will help. It's just a case of, you know, if you were contacted to help and you just say, look, all I've got is half an hour, they will put that into the planning, and then that way you can volunteer as well. So I don't want people to be put off by the fact that they're probably going to be committing to something that is going to be hard and fast. You know, nothing is hard and fast. It's just getting ourselves together and getting involved in one way or the other.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything to add to that, please?
I just have a question regarding the volunteering, and is there any requirement for, say, background checks, or if you're going to be volunteering with the children, is there any kind of requirements there?
So what we're planning to do is Jermaine is the chair of the volunteer committee. We are gonna be asking her to go check each area that requires volunteering. For instance, the food bank, we just go one evening and do 2 hours and that's it, right? So they don't most times require anything. But if we're gonna be doing something with children, maybe in a hospital, they always want extra checks. That's why Jermaine is going to go ahead and find those things for us. So if you want to join the volunteer team to help Jermaine, we'll really, really welcome anybody's help to help Jermaine with that volunteering committee, because lots of people, sometimes some people just come that, my school, I'm required to volunteer. Do you people have any volunteer opportunities? You know, we want to have that gathered, you know, like our database for volunteering, you know, so that we know what are the requirements. We start ahead of time. So please, if you want to join that, Jermaine will contact you and give any requirement for that volunteering opportunity. Ahead of time, she will let us know if there's anyone that requires police checks and stuff. But if like the ones we do internally, like it takes a village to raise a child, and we had children, most of the parents were there, you know, while the children were there too. So there was no need to get police check. But if it's a third party's facility, there's always a possibility that they need police checks.
And I think, thank you very much, Olin. That's a completely valid question. Just to add to what Helen has said, is that within ourselves, we have people already working with children. It might be that we want to draw on that as well. Like Jamie, for example, she's a certified teacher. We have people that working in the health sector that would have had some level of checks. And if we do need to do something else, if we do have a database, like Helen said, and obviously if extra checks are required, then we'll do them. But I suppose the message is for people not to be put off by the fact that, you know, they probably will be required to do check. And if we do have to be, it probably won't be a cost to yourselves. I'm hoping. It probably won't be. I would expect that maybe, you know, if because you're volunteering, we need to do extra check that will cost money. I'll be hoping that the organization would fund that. But I suppose the message is for people not to be put off and to put yourself forward, and then let us then decide, you know, or work with you to decide where is appropriate. Right?
Okay.
And this is Charles Chuma. And typically the volunteering background checks are free. The ones that I've done as well. So.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that information.
I was going to say that. Can you hear me okay, Helen?
Yeah, you know, your sound is not clear. So move your
Yeah,
mic a
that's
little
okay.
bit away.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my sound. It's very awful, but I was just thinking that maybe I volunteered in different areas around. I was just thinking of some of the things that they ask for. Sometimes they give you, this is like a
I'm sorry,
volunteer.
Marilyn. Maybe I'm sorry to. I think you need to probably
Maybe
move
Move your mic.
your mic piece to your mouth. It's a bit down.
yeah. Oh, move it. Okay.
Oh, that's
Can you
it.
hear me better now?
Perfect. That's it.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that sometimes it's good, like the lady that asked that question, hours and what you're looking for. Maybe if you have sort of like an overview of volunteer profile, so you're looking for, you know, a certain kind of person, like you're saying about working with children. So you might want to outline a few things just to give someone an idea as to whether or not they would be a fit, you know, for a particular event or something that you're doing. I think if whoever is the chair of this committee, if they can sort of brainstorm, or if we could send in some pointers to you, and then maybe you could just come up with a profile list of what you're looking for, you know, in a volunteer. And I think that would sort of help, because it sounds to me like you're wanting volunteers on demand. So they not necessarily have.
Okay, frozen. Okay, lines are frozen. Oh, okay. Sorry, ma'am. It's like we lost you at the end.
Yeah, I know. I think it's my end. I'm having trouble with my internet. And I might just send into you what I was saying. Just saying that maybe if you have a volunteer profile list of things that you're looking for, that might be a way to answer some of the questions.
Okay.
Did that help?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe I'll send that to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
I'll
you.
send it to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that input. So we're going to be moving to other matters. Is there anything?
All right.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I think in line with what she just said, maybe you want to mention the names of all the chairmans of the committees so that everybody, and I agree with that, there's a need to have those, to try to come up with those, because it will help us a lot. Some of it might be we require people that we will brainstorm with, some of which will be we just need people to be available when we have to do something, and it will vary based on committee to committee.
Yeah.
So, and I think the chair people for each committee has major task to do on there. So if you mention the chairman of each committee, maybe people can contact them and relate with them. That's
Okay. So I'll read the names again. It's for the volunteer committee, it's Jermaine. Jermaine, you're still there? Jermaine is our secretary.
Yeah, I'm still there, ma.
Yeah, so Jermaine is in charge of the volunteer. So you'll be talking also with Marilyn about the volunteer. So you'll be hearing her input and Ahmed. Yeah, so Jermaine is the chair of that committee. We have the events committee, Mr. Charles Schumer. Are you still there? So Mr.
Yes,
Charles,
I am.
yeah,
Yes,
Mr.
I am,
Charles
Malcolm.
is in charge of events committee and fundraising for now. Till I get someone else that wants to take the fundraising committee. I still have my name there as the one that will chair the fundraising committee. Then the finance is Megan. Megan is the treasurer that read the report. Then policy, procedures, and admin. I have Busola. Busola, you're on the line, right? Hi, Busola. So she's on the line. So for the administration, then for welfare we have Grace Ann as the chair of that committee, and we have for mentoring we have Mr. Ahmed as our mentoring committee chair. We have other people in that committee. I'm going to write this down and send it again, post this again to the group. And if you want a copy of it, I will just send it to you so that you have this information for us to share. So now, if everybody has anything, we're going to move to the next item, which is other matters that's arising. If you have anything that is not on this schedule that you want us to talk about, please feel free to bring it up now.
Just want to, sorry, Helen, just want to further encourage people. I have no doubt, in fact, like just looking across the board, people that are present, that we have enormous human capital skill in this group. And just to, encourage people to put themselves forward. It's not a lot of, like, it's a volunteer association. It's, there's, I mean, if you're worried about certain requirements, you can ask questions, but feel free to put yourself forward. And just like back to the Councillor Watson was saying, that we have to be in it to win it. Like, we're in St. Albert, we really have to be in there. So just want to encourage people. I'm sure we have like very, very good human capital amongst us.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody have something else to add?
And somebody, I believe we're looking at people if they want to be in more than one committee, right? We don't mind.
As much as anybody can, they can add to anyone. Councillor Ray, can you wants to talk? Can you mute yourself? Okay.
I just want to thank you, Helen, and for all the work you've put into this, and how quick you've brought it to the forefront in the city, and all the work you've done, and you've got it as a not-for-profit organization and everything so far. So I just really want to thank you, and whoever else has done. I know you've been the lead, but there may be a few other people who've been instrumental in starting it. But I really want to thank you for doing all this work, because it's a really great thing to bring the community, to bring our community together. And like I say, so many other communities do it, and the Black community is kind of all over the map half the time. So this is really, really a good thing, and I'm really, really proud of the fact that you've done it and taken all the time. That's all I want to say.
Thank you very much, sir. We truly appreciate it. Thank you. So does anybody have anything that you think we have missed out from this thing? That's what we're calling for ideas of events, ideas for what things you want us to do as a community. So if you have anything, please reach out to us. The association belongs to all of us, and the success of the association is your own success. So if you have something, activity for the youths, something you could do, and we're hoping that during Black History Month, we'll have people that will go to schools, to talk to schools, you understand, to put our faith, because we know that there are some schools that don't have people of color. You understand? So if we have volunteers, that if you have time during Black History, if it's just 1 hour, that will be going to schools. Any ideas that you bring that will put ourselves out there, please reach out to us for event ideas, for activities. Please reach out to us so that we'll know how to work with you to get that thing out. Recently, we had Dr. Lotta. She was doing something, and she called on the community that who wants to be a part of our team for something. That's part of the thing that we're here for as a community. So if you have ideas, please reach out to us. So if there is no other matters, is there any other thing? Are we missing anything before we move to the next activity? Is there something you want us to talk about?
Helen, it's Charles again. We did watch We Are the Roots back in February. Is it possible just to send a link of that documentary again, so just in case other people can watch it as well?
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. Yes, I'm going to get that link, because I know they could give it to us. I'll get that link and share with the group. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, there's just one other thing also too. When COVID kind of gets over, I have that movie that I want to show everybody that my cousin did on Black history and Mr. Emancipation. His name is Walter Perry, and he started one of the largest emancipation celebrations in Ontario in 1930s, and it went to like 1950 something. And he had Martin Luther King there and all sorts of people. So my cousin has done a 1-hour documentary on it. And as soon as we get kind of past this COVID thing, I like to screen it and have people come and watch it. And it's a good movie for kids and adults, really. It's a story. It's an interesting story.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. Hopefully that might be our first coming out event. We'll bring popcorn and pop.
I'll bring the popcorn and the movie.
Yeah. So yeah, we could do that. We could rent a space, social distance, because we recently did an event, camping event, and it went well. 2 weeks have passed since that event, and everybody is fine. So I kind of have some ideas on social distancing. You know, if we know how many people can come, we get a big space and project it. The community hall is there for us, that we could project it as part of our event. And so, yeah, we might start thinking of that as part of our youth events.
Okay.
You know, kids going back to school, and we'll watch how the next few weeks goes in St. Albert. Hopefully everything goes well, and we'll plan something. Yeah, and invite the whole community. Does anybody have something else, ideas and comments that you want to add before we go through the announcement and adjourn the meeting? If you have something, please, the floor is free. We have a few minutes before. Does anybody have anything?
Let me just say something here. I know you may have mentioned it. I know that St. Albert's Further Education, they have volunteer opportunities for instructors. So if there are any person that want to be an instructor, you can contact Cheryl Dumont at the St. Albert's Further Education. So, you know, we can start from there or continue from there.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that's a very good input. That we have that partnership with St. Albert Further Education. They are doing a lot of work, you know, lots of work. So if you would like to volunteer with them, please reach out, and we'll connect you with St. Albert Further Education. So if we don't have any other thing for us to, if no one has a contribution, the next item on the list is announcements. The announcement I have is Culture Days. It's going to be starting in September. I'm going to be posting the dates. So there are lots of free events. Some of us already know how to make jollof rice, or you know how to make puff puff. It's not a bad thing for you to register to learn how to make it. It's going to be made online with Jermaine leading it. So it also shows very well that while the St. Albert Cultivate the Art Society is organizing this event, that there are people in the community that are supporting it. Because if we don't support it, next time, if we now say, oh, we want to do events, can you people sponsor? Because the St. Albert Cultivates the Art Society, it's the association that gets the grant from the government for this different event. So if we don't support our event, next time they will not want to sponsor that event, because they will say, we did something, your community said you're going to do puff-puff making or jollof rice making or dance. You people didn't show up. So if we don't show up for something that we are supposed to be the host, next time it will be difficult for us to convince them to put us in their plan for the event. So I'll be sending the links to the Eventbrite. Please register for it. Come and dance. Come and learn how to make puff puff. Even if you know how to make jollof rice, come and learn someone else's jollof rice. You know, there's always a competition between Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof and Ivory Coast jollof. There's always a competition. Let's come and so please, I encourage everyone, you know, to come participate in Alberta Culture Days. And another thing that we are doing is the welfare. Please, if you know anyone that is having a challenge, some of them might be working, you understand, like the 2 people that we had to help, they're single parents. You understand that they are working, paying their bills, but a little help. You understand? goes a long way. It just shows that the association is not just here to be calling people for events, but we're also here to support each other. So please, if you know anyone that's going through a challenge, please reach out to us for us to help. You understand? We are so thankful that we have an association that is registered and have the capacity, at least the little capacity to help. So, and our AC will be helping us. So after today, she's going to have the phone back. And if you want to be a part of that welfare team, please reach out and we'll give you the phone. And so we're going to be, the next item is recognition of service by volunteers. I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the board to say thank you to everyone that have attended our meetings. Even for you that have made it out this evening, we know, it's a weekend, everybody's preparing for back to school tomorrow. You made out time to sit down with us, to listen, to contribute, to be a part of this meeting. We want to say we truly appreciate you. And to everyone that has attended our events, you made it a success. We've had an awesome 12 months since we started. I want to say thank you. We say thank you to everyone that has donated, everyone that has given advice, everything that everyone has done. We say thank you. We truly appreciate all our volunteers, because everything we're doing is just volunteers. The board is a volunteer board. All of us are volunteering our time to do what we're doing. We say we truly, truly appreciate. And the 11th item is our next year's AGM. We have put the next year AGM to be August 29, but I'm looking at that August 29 that if it's the back to school weekend, it's always a challenge to get people to come out. So I'm thinking that the next year's AGM should be August 22nd, and we hope to have a physical meeting. What do we think? I know it's still a long way. So I'm thinking we should tentatively plan it for August the 22nd instead of August the 29th, because 29th is always so close to back to school weekend. So August the 22nd is where we'll be looking at our AGM for next year. So I'll just put that in change and we'll get back to it. So that's all we had on the agenda. Does anybody have something to say or an input to make before we someone will move a motion for us to adjourn today's AGM? Does anybody have anything to say? Go ahead, Alan.
To be honest, for me, I'm so excited and proud of this community that I see on this platform. As a young mom, as an immigrant who has been here just 8 years, I wish when I came here, I saw this kind of people who could encourage me, who could tell me that actually it's possible. As to see a young mom like you as well, taking this really heavy like road, and you encourage us to even volunteer, it's really like a blessing. As a young mom, I don't take this for granted. I just want to say thank you so much. Whenever you need us, please let us know. Personally, I will do anything in my power to be there when you need me.
Thank you.
Second, I really want to thank the council, like the city council. The word that you started telling us as young people, we need some time to hear those words from people who have made it already. So thank you so much for the encouragement. Thank you so much for telling us that it's possible. And we are listening, we hear. And we're gonna do our best. Even if we don't make it, at least we're gonna let our kids know that they can and they will. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
It's possible and you're gonna make it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just said it's possible and you're gonna make it.
Yes.
You just gotta, don't give up, never give up, keep working hard.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything to add? Does anybody have anything to add? If nothing, can somebody move a motion for the adjournment of today's AGM?
Been a great meeting. And yeah, most for John. That's okay.
Okay, so we want to call Abimbola. Are you still on the line? Okay, can somebody move a motion now for us?
Ms. Charles Chuma to move the motion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Schumer. Who wants to second it? Mr. Severine, do you want to second that? Let's hear your voice, Mr. Severine. Unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. So what I would like to say, like the First Lady said, to say thank you to everyone, especially to Ellen. For those people who don't have English as a first language, it's not easy to go through the event. So, but I think that by God helping from you, I can do whatever I want. So anytime you need my help, call me. If I can do it, I won't hesitate. I'm ready to do everything. So that I would like to say. So to say thank you for everybody.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. So in the absence of anything, I will second that motion for us to call today's AGM, close today's AGM. And I say thank you. We say thank you to everyone, and we truly appreciate. Thank you, Councillor Watkins, for staying true and being a part of our community. We're so happy, and yes, we clap and say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for making today's AGM a success. We truly appreciate you, and listen out for our next activities that we'll be doing in the next few days, and it's gonna be good, and we'll do much more in the next few months. Thank you again. Thank you everyone. Georgina, Kwabena, my husband, everyone, Kwazi Allen, Marilyn Mawuse, Essie Mawuse, Natasha. Thank you so much, Mr. Kola, Jermaine, Juliette, Charles, I don't know who is M here, Abimbola, Ronke, and Lena. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we say have a blessed week ahead. Thank you so much. Have a good night's rest, everyone. God bless you.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.